Hi, and welcome to TXDZNY. On today's show, I'm going to be ranking my favorite World Showcase countries from my least favorite to my favorite. Okay, let's get started. So, when I'm ranking these countries, I'm going to be taking a few things into consideration. Mostly, it's going to be their food, their drinks, the whole vibe of the country back there, and how nice and beautifully decorated the pavilion is and everything like that. Um, I'll also say that World Showcase is my favorite part of all Walt Disney World. So even if I have a country ranked 11th, 10th, ninth, there's still some of my favorite spots in all of Walt Disney World. So it's not like I don't like them. It's just that I like some other countries quite a bit more. Um, in the near future, I'm going to be doing a little series where I'm going to actually do a deeper dive into each one of the countries in the pavilions. Um, on this, I'm going to be drinking in real time. I'm going to go get drinks from each country. I'll be drinking it in real time, and then I'll shorten down the videos to where each country is a video, but I'll be drinking in live time like I'm actually drinking around the world at uh, at Epcot and World Showcase, where it should be pretty entertaining. I might get a buddy or two or three to tag along with me and do the videos with me who've been to Disney World quite a bit as well. You'll get a deeper dive into the countries on that. This one, I'm just going to kind of give a ranking, give a few reasons as to why I have each country ranked the way it is. So let's get started on the list. Okay, to start out my rankings, at 11, I'm going to put Canada. Um, Canada, I actually really like as the pavilion. It actually has my favorite restaurant in all of Walt Disney World in Le Cellier. But outside of Le Cellier, it kind of lacks for me. Um, they do have a band out there which has some good music uh, during most of the year. Um, they do have the Circle Vision there for O Canada, which is a cool little show, but it can be quite boring if you're kind of wanting to party and have an upbeat day around there at Epcot. We found that our kids don't really love watching those shows, so we generally try to skip out on it. There's not a ton in the shops there either. The waterfall is beautiful. The pavilion is actually under construction right now as of February in 2024. So I think they're just doing general maintenance and painting and stuff like that. But I'd like to see them do more with that pavilion, with how nice of a country Canada is. I feel like they could do more. Also, Canada is really known for a lot of really good beers, whiskeys, bourbons, and even wines. I'd like to see a bar added to the Canadian Pavilion at some point. Um, Obviously, it has a deep hockey uh, tradition there, so I'd really like to see like a hockey kind of bar put into that Canada Pavilion, along with some shops and maybe expand that pavilion. But that's why it sits at number 11 with us, because it just doesn't have a ton of stuff there. Number 10 is China. Much like the Canada Pavilion, um, it doesn't have a ton there. The best parts of the China Pavilion, in my opinion, are just the core and the shops. The food there isn't anything special. Nine Dragons isn't anything that you're really going to remember a ton. A lot of the little grab and go quick services are good, but they're not great. The drink options there are good, not great. But the decor around there and the shops are actually really nice. They have the same thing there. They have a circle vision in the China Pavilion too. Same kind of thing as the Canadian Pavilion. It's if you're trying to have an upbeat day, it's not the best, but it is something cool to do if you're just trying to get out of the sun maybe in the summer, or just trying to expand your how long it's going to take you to go around World Showcase. That's why China sits at 10 for me, because it doesn't have a ton to do there. It's just mostly just looks really nice. At number 9, I have the American Pavilion. I have it 9, probably mostly because I'm American, and so it's nothing different. If you're probably not American and you're watching this, or you go to the pavilion, probably excites you a little bit more. But when you obviously you're from the country, it's not as exciting maybe for you, because you live in the country. But I do really like the Regal Eagle restaurant there. A lot of the grab and goes are real nice. I do love the food they generally have there during festivals. I'm trying to keep festivals out of this video and trying to factor them in. I'm just trying to keep it to just how the regular pavilion is. I'm not what they change in the different festivals throughout the year. The Voices of Liberty are a great little show inside the pavilion. The voices of everybody in there is great. Same kind of vibe as the Canada and China pavilions, though. It's if you're trying to have a good time and having an upbeat day, going inside and listening to Voices of Liberty in like a slower tempo, some can kind of bring it down. So we try to not do that if we're having a good time around World Showcase. But it does have the American Gardens thing, which is a big stage you see right there at the America Pavilion. That is mostly a festival thing, and who's playing there each day, and what festivals going on, what kind of shows they have. But it is always a good little vibe around there because of that. Just walking by, you might hear some good music. So it does rank pretty good for that. The drinks are just okay. You know, obviously it's a lot of local Florida beers and some other things like that. It doesn't wow, but it's always good. But that's why America sits at number 9 for me. Number 8, I'm going to have as Germany. Germany, a lot like, let's say, like Canada, has my favorite restaurant. Germany has some of my favorite beers in World Showcase, and I generally will stay with beer when I'm drinking around the countries. I do get margarita, champagne, stuff like that as well. But I do love the beer in the Germany pavilion. I think it also is a beautiful looking pavilion. I love the shops there. I actually collect the beer steins from Germany. I always wanted one when I was younger, and quite frankly, I just couldn't afford them. They were actually quite a bit more way back when. I'm talking about in the like early mid 2000s. I'd go and look at those beer steins, and they'd be $400 or $500 for one, and I always wanted them. And went back years later, happened to look at them, and they were quite a bit cheaper. So I started to collecting them. So I always go in that Germany pavilion at every trip, at least once or twice. I normally get a stein or two. They're actually pretty affordable now. So if you have any interest in getting a little collection of those, it's a cool little thing to do. The shops in there are beautiful. The beer garden restaurant is really nice. Has a little bit of music and is upbeat, and it feels like you're at Oktoberfest when you're there. The whole vibe of the whole entire pavilion is that it's supposed to be like it's a year-round Oktoberfest. The grab and go food's pretty good. Obviously, they're known for the pretzels, but they have good macaroni and cheese and stuff like that as well. I think Germany fell a little bit short. In the original plans for Germany, they were actually supposed to put a water ride in Germany. When you're going in the back of the country, if you go to the left and see where the beer garden is, if you look to the right, there's a big kind of open area there. We're supposed to have a water ride there. And it's supposed to be like Maelstrom in the Norway Pavilion and kind of take you along the Rhine River and show you some of the German heritage. But it never came to fruition. And I really wish they'd put a ride back there. I think there was a big hit with putting the Frozen ride in the Norway Pavilion when they switched it from Maelstrom. I'd like to see them try to put like something like a Tangled or a Snow White water ride back there. Maybe make Beer Garden a little bit smaller. And a lot of these pavilions are bigger than you think if you do an aerial of what they look like and have more space than what you think. So I'd like to see a ride added to the Germany pavilion at some point. Don't know if that's ever going to happen, but I feel like there's a lot of potential there with some of the German movies that are done there. But it's always a fun country for me because I love the beer and collecting the beer steins there. Number 7 is Morocco. Now, for me, Morocco is the prettiest country of them all, decor-wise. Cool little thing is that they were the only country that actually had their country come in and decorate the pavilion. It does have a full bar right there along the World Showcase, which is kind of cool. Not every country has that. Normally they have their specialty drinks, but they have a full bar there. I'm not a huge Mediterranean food eater. I like the food, but it's not something like I big time crave. But whenever I eat there, I do like the food, but it's not something I'd say, oh, it's a must do. The best things to do there, just kind of go around the shops and see the vibes. They do have some good drinks there. Just go walk around and catch the uniqueness of the pavilion. You could normally meet Jasmine and Aladdin there if you catch during the right time. So you could do that, and they'd have some live music there as well. But it's really a cool country just to go and look and and see all the decor around there with all the nice little tile mosaics and stuff like that. At number 6, I'm going to have the UK Pavilion. The UK Pavilion we absolutely love. The Rose and Crown is arguably my favorite bar in all of Walt Disney World. I love going there and just going grabbing a beer too. I'll find myself a lot of times going, even when I'm drinking around the countries. I'll go sometimes in the UK a couple times and just to go in the Rose and Crown and have an extra drink or two. Just because the whole vibe in there is just exactly like you think. It feels like you're at a pub in the UK. The garden area in the back, when you start going to the back, is a real little chill area. Sometimes they have some live music back there, but it is when they're not having music. It's a real chill. It's quiet. I remember even when my wife was pregnant with my daughter, that we would just go back there. I go get a beer at the Rose and Crown, and we just go back there because her being on her feet sometimes for the whole day was hard. Obviously, being pregnant, and it was a good, just like little relaxed area. It wasn't a lot of noise. It was quiet. So you always think of that place. So if you're thinking about a place, maybe just go chill and relax. The shops there are very cool. I'm a big soccer fan, so I like seeing all the different soccer teams there. I'm actually a Bayern Munich fan, but I still, like seeing all the different soccer jerseys of the Premier League in there. And then the fish and chips are a great little grab and go option if you're a seafood eater and love like fish. My wife loves going there, and the fries, as someone who doesn't love seafood, fries there are great as well. But it is a cool little area and has great opportunities to meet several different characters there. It's one of the best pavilions to meet characters. You're going to see Alice a lot of times. You're going to see Winnie the Pooh and Tigger. You'll see Mary Poppins sometimes roaming around. They have a lot of different characters from the UK who do little meet and greets there. So it's a cool little pavilion for that. At number 5, I have Italy. I love the drinks in Italy, from whether it be getting champagne, wine, beer, mixed drinks, martini, whatever it might be. They have great drinks there, and has some of the better restaurants, I think, in around World Showcase for multiple options in the pavilion. Via Napoli is one of our favorite places with great pizza and other great dishes. And Tutto Gusto is a great little place as well. And we found actually some good luck with Tutto Gusto. Sometimes if you go during lunch and just grab like some paninis there, it feels like you're in a cave. A lot of times it's easy to sneak in there and just have a little chill little afternoon in there and just have a couple drinks. And if you want to get out of the sun or something for a little bit, it's a cool little area. The shops are beautiful there. I like the whole vibe of some of the decor in there with the Italian theme and all that. I'm Italian, so it is a cool little vibe in there with different decor that they have there that could maybe fit in with your kitchens and stuff like that. It does have the area that kicks out into the World Showcase Lagoon, which is a real nice little relax area, much like the UK Pavilion. Theirs is tucked into going back into the country. Italy's is going towards the water, and it's a cool little area if you're just going to go grab a drink or go grab some food from a grab and go place and just sit there and kind of chill and just relax. You get a beautiful view of all of World Showcase pretty much from back there, and it's a cool little area just to do some downtime. The entertainment there to me kind of lacks there. I wish I had a little bit more. They do have a couple little shows that they put on there, but overall I like to see more like upbeatness to it. There's so much good little Italian history and stuff like that. I like to see them try to capture that a little bit more there. But obviously, it's sitting at number 5. It's a pavilion that we really like. At number 4, I have Norway. With a lot of these countries, you'll see that a lot of the ones that have ranked high also have more entertainment there. It's not even that I like the food and stuff more, it's that there's a lot more to do. At the Norway Pavilion, you obviously have Frozen Ever After. Obviously, I'm 41 years old, so I've known this ride since it was Maelstrom and liked it when it was Maelstrom, but it's a real big hit to me that when they switched over to Frozen, especially having a little girl and a little boy who absolutely love the ride. It's a huge hit to have a good ride there, and they've really captured the whole Frozen theme and really kind of reignited that whole pavilion, if you ask me. The shops are real Frozen based. That's what I like to see in the Germany pavilion, and some of these other pavilions maybe capitalize, try to put even a small little attraction there, try to capitalize some of the Disney movies that have been in those countries. Like I said, like Tangled or Snow White for the German pavilion. You could do Mulan or something for the China pavilion. But there's so many movies that take place in some of these countries that I feel like they should capitalize on them. So, but Akershus is one of our favorite breakfasts at Disney World. It's a princess breakfast. They also do dinner there. The princess meet and greets are still great. The food we don't like as much, but it's a cool little princess to do. The only place you can go sit down and eat a meal with the princesses besides eating at Cinderella's table at Magic Kingdom. So it's a cool little option to have there. Um, it also has a meet and greet with Anna and Elsa, which being some of the newer characters there over the last 10 years or so. So my little girl loves it. She loves going to meet Elsa's her favorite princess, so going and meeting some of them are great. And also has a Kringle Bakery, which is a huge hit. People love their school bread there, and they all have great treats there for all types of desserts and stuff like that. The drinks there kind of lack for me, but there's enough of everything else there, and it overpowers everything between the combo of having Frozen, all the Frozen theme, has good shops and having Akershus and things like that. It really takes that number 4 spot for me. At 3, I'm going to have the Japan Pavilion. So this is the only one inside my top 4 that doesn't have a ride. Japan is one of my favorite pavilions. It has for me, just so much to do there, so many different things to do. Teppanyaki is one of our favorite restaurants around World Showcase. It's hibachi style with a little bit of a Disney flair. It depends on which cook you're getting, but they normally do a little Disney flair to some of it. And I love hibachi food, so it's always going to be one of my favorite restaurants there. Also has great quick service things, and I'm not a sushi eater, but my wife loves sushi, so it's a great place to just go grab some sushi. Even as a non-seafood eater, they still have a lot of good quick service options there as far as food. And then the drink options there are always good. They always, from the violet sake to frozen beer to just regular sake, and the regular beers. Everything there is real good. We like all their drinks there, and there's so many different places to go get them there between different sake places, different inside the shops and all that. That it's a really good pavilion to just sit there and roam around. The shops there are unbelievable too. It's probably some of the biggest shops out of all of World Showcase. We like to do it, especially with my daughter. They have a cool little thing where you can go and pick out an oyster, and they'll have and when you're doing it, you're obviously paying for it, and then you get to keep the pearl, and you get to decide if you want to put on a necklace or something like that. That's something cool to do, and they play in the music, drums and stuff while they're doing it. Something exciting for kids to do inside the shops. And it's just got a cool vibe around the whole country. They do the drums there also periodically throughout the day. That's year round. There's so many good food options. So for us, it's just a really, really, really nice pavilion that has a little bit of everything there besides a ride. And because it doesn't have a ride, it still is a really fun pavilion for us. It looks great decor-wise too. So then at number 2, I'm going to have the Mexico Pavilion. And I'll probably be honest, I probably would have Mexico ranked number 1 if I didn't live in Texas and I didn't go to Mexico so often. Where I feel like I go to Mexico enough where it's like, it's nothing crazy to me. Also, being in Texas, I eat a lot of Tex-Mex food here. So the food, I normally skip out on the food there because I eat so much here in Texas. But obviously you have the water ride of the Grand Fiesta Tour with 3 Caballeros, which is always fun. It's for all ages, obviously. The best part about that ride is it rarely has a long wait time. So it's a great little ride when you're going back there through World Showcase. Frozen and the Ratatouille ride will normally have long wait time, so it can really slow down your day if you're going to wait in line for those if you didn't get a Genie Plus or a Lightning Lane for it. But if you in the Mexico Pavilion Grand Fiesta Tour, is inside the pavilion. Normally, it's if you time it right, sometimes it could be just a walk-on. So it's a good little thing to get the kids at. And it's also most of that pavilion is inside. So if it's a hot day or something, it's a good way to go inside. It's dark, so if you have little ones, make sure you're keeping an eye on them. It's got a cool little. It's almost like you're in the streets of Mexico when you're in there. But it also has one of my favorite bars there in La Cava de Tequila, and it's right there at Rose and Crown is one of my favorite bars in all of Walt Disney World. And some of the best. If you're a tequila lover, you name it tequila, they pretty much have it there. They have some of the best margaritas and mixed drinks there. It's a cool little vibe. You can just grab and go. You can go sit down and have a couple drinks. It's up to you. With the service there is unbelievable. Um, if you go outside, it's got several food options out there as well. It's got it's got uh, like 3, 4 different dining ways to dine there. And then the margarita stands obviously always a big hit. There's always a huge debate whether you should start going from the left to the right when you're going around World Showcase. We kind of mix it up. It depends whatever's closest to us. But we do generally try to start in Mexico. And to have one of them margaritas there to start out your drinking around the countries is always a great way to start it out. So Mexico sits at our number 2 because the whole vibe there is just great with different great food options, good drink options, a ride, good shops, live music out there with Mariachi Cobre, and it's always a good time over there in the Mexico Pavilion to start out your World Showcase journey if you're going to go from left to right. So then number 1, we'll leave France as my number 1 World Showcase country. Even before they made the Ratatouille ride back there, it was still probably in my top 3 or 4, just because of the good food and drink and options and the whole vibe and decor. But obviously the Ratatouille ride put it over the top for me. The Ratatouille ride, we absolutely love. The kids love it. It's always fun to do. They even have a Beauty and the Beast little show that they have back there. If you couldn't get onto Ratatouille, it kind of tells the Beauty and the Beast story from a little bit of a different perspective. So it's pretty much got 2 different things to do back there. The drinks are great. I mean, my wife's a big champagne drinker, so she loves getting the champagne there. I'll normally have some with her. It has good drink options from there. I even like the Kronenberg beer. It always has great wines and everything like that. Les Halles is always a great little quick service. It could get crowded, but they pretty much have everything back there, and it's probably the best quick service in all of Epcot, if not Walt Disney World, with all the different options that you have there and stuff like that. Chef de France is a real nice sit-down restaurant that we've gone to several times. It's always a good time. It's a little bit nicer. And it's a great pavilion to meet princesses, much like the UK pavilion and stuff like that. They always seem to have Belle out there. They'll have Aurora out there. They always kind of mix it up and have different princesses out there for the kids to meet if they care to. So much to do there, and the decor there and the shops are beautiful, much like the Italy pavilion. It's got so much a lot of decor there that fits perfectly into a kitchen dining area and stuff like that. So the whole vibe of everything, that's why it sits at our number 1, from having a ride to the food to the drinks to the whole decor. It's all beautiful there. So that's my top 11, which was how did I have this? It was Canada at 11, China at 10, America at 9, Germany at 8, Morocco at 7, UK at 6, Italy at 5, Norway at 4, and Japan at 3, Mexico at 2, and France at 1. So I highly recommend going to all these countries and spending some time. Don't try to quickly go through it. If it's a country you're like, oh, I don't think I'm gonna like this, still go inside and go explore the shops and stuff like that. We make sure our kids do that. I think it's great especially with kids, to go take them in the countries that they could get caught in they just want to go into the country that has the next ride or something like that. Take them into the shops and teach them a little bit about heritage of each country and stuff like that while you're back there. But that's why World Showcase is our favorite spots back there. Always go back there and try to be responsible. I know drinking and having a good times back there, but always try to do it responsibly. And that's my top 11 for the World Showcase Pavilions. Thank you for watching this video, and we'll do a deeper dive into each country and do a drinking around the world series here in a little bit. But thank you for watching. Thanks.